360, the name change there is probably what you've noticed most. But Ethnos 360 obviously reaches out and establishes churches in other places where the gospel is no other option of reaching. And we had our 75th anniversary, formerly Ethnos 360, formerly known as New Tribes Mission. Ethnos meaning peoples, people groups, 360 meaning all over the world in a 360-degree fashion. And we were having that conference of celebrating the 75th anniversary of Ethnos 360. We also have a new building. And in the building we have a kind of it's a historical, chronological drawing of the reaching of the church reaching out. And I was looking at one place here on the diagram or on the display, and it was talking about the Moke people. It's in Papua New Guinea. There's a people group called the Moke that Mark Zook reached, established a church there, and they were doing that exactly at the same time. Mark and Dave were working with the Moke people at the same time that I was working with the Combe people. The Combe it's on the same island. The Moke were in the center of the island, and I was reaching out with the Combe, and it was a difficult reach because I wasn't living in the tribe at the time. So I was traveling out there, spending a week or two or three there in the tribe, and then coming back, and then teaching in the small college that we had there. And this was back in 1980, probably like 84, 85. And we were, asked to start to help establish a church, not a church, or rather another school up in the highlands of Papua New Guinea. So I left the Combe, and nobody else were there working with the Combe. But the Moke people, Mark Zook and Dave, I can't remember his last name, Dave, Junker. Thank you. I know Dave Junker much more closely than I do even Mark Zook. But Dave Junker, they were working there into the tribe, and when we left, and then I received word that Dave Junker and Mark Zook were having great inroads and having a great awakening in the Moke tribe. They established and they were wide open for the gospel. The Combe, on the other hand, were quite standoffish, and they wanted other things from me rather than the gospel. And so I've always worried and wondered about the Combe people. Well, I was looking at that, and they said, and there was a diagram showing who reaching who, and there was the Combe people, was the Moke people reaching the Combe. And they were right now at this present time, missionaries working with the Combe people. It wasn't me. But, so, when I first started out, first coming into New Tribes or Ethnos 360, one of the motivating factors was Romans chapter 10, and particularly this verse here, 14 through 15. It says, "Now then, how then can they call on the one they have not believed in? And how can they believe in the one they have not heard? And how can they hear without someone preaching to them? And how can they preach unless they are sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news. It was a big motivation for me. Wanted to have beautiful feet. Tim Holmgren wanted to have beautiful feet. And, a big motivation, it's kind of a pride thing, come to think of it. As I was standing there looking at the fact that the Combe were reaching, or the Moak were reaching the Combe, and it wasn't me. Maybe took some of the beauty away from my feet, so to speak, from Tim Holmgren's feet. In fact, I was called beautiful today by Ken. He came up there. I think he felt sorry for me, for everybody was telling Teresa how beautiful she was. So he had to beef me up there a little bit. So, but anyhow, I'm thinking back on that, and I'm looking at that, the Combe people being reached by the Moak people. The Moak church doing the reaching. And it was looking as there, and it's talking about the body of Christ in 12, the 12th chapter of 1 Corinthians, talking about the whole body of Christ working together to bring the gospel, or to build up His church. It's God's work, and He's doing it His way. It's not Tim Holmgren's work. It's not Ethnos 360's work. It's Algoma's work. It's the body of Christ that's doing the work. And it's the beautiful feet of those that bring good news. It's the beautiful feet of the church. In fact, make me think of in 1 Corinthians 12, there's talking about, can the feet say to the hand, I have no need of you? Or the hand say to the eye, I have no need of you? It's the whole body reaching out, stretching the boundary, putting churches where there haven't been churches before. They had no opportunity apart from somebody being sent. And it's the church that's doing the sending. It's not Ethno 360. It's not Tim Holmgren. It's not the beautiful feet of Tim Holmgren that is being concerned. It's all about God. And I just thank you for the opportunity that you have given me and Teresa and the rest of the family for being able to be a part of that arm reaching out, and to being a part of the leg that's reaching out with beautiful feet. And I just appreciate this, and thank you so much for your support and your help in all this, and especially for your prayers.